Greetings in chat. Brain Shatter. H68. Well, Brew. Greetings in chat. Snoopy700. Greetings in chat. For given value again, Carlos Fish. We go live in 19 minutes.
Acknowledged director. Welcome to this, see, he read.
Just in head on the last few versions, let me see who else is turned up. Stand by. Is there anyone I should promote that I haven't yet? Okay. Greetings in chat to K-Show, 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 and K-Show. How are you? I figured out what the acronym was. I just grew. Did you? How are you all? Right. I believe I've managed all the necessary promotion. There is a streamer promotion service on X that apparently would like me to sign up their packages. I have a feeling their packages would horrify me to look at the price of. But it's really tempting because, as we've established by now, I am awful at figuring out how to advertise and draw new, ideally benevolent eyes. Oh well. A question in the chat from H6 Yankee: what actually is Arbiter Labs? I'm glad you asked. Arbiter Labs is a quasi-clandestine super science research concern. If that answers the question, think, well, I suppose AIM, but without the misanthropy. And typically an aversion to anything that is itself intentionally weaponized technology. Although, truth be told, almost anything can be weaponized. All you need is imagination. Conversely, a lot of things that are weaponizable can also be used just for defense. Shield tech, stealth, these are my preferred. Right, are we hiring? Yes. Only not publicly. Always a look for the proper bright minds out there. Well, we can't afford to, well, I can't afford. Look, the operations of Arbiter Labs are important. Very, very secret and so on. This is, well, my side project, which I'm allowed to do. Of course I'm allowed to do it. I'm the boss. But I do yield to concerns to my chief of security and so on. Hiring people on streams is probably not going to pass muster with Zero. You know, it's been a long time since I mentioned Zero. That's typically by their request. They get very nervous whenever I do mention them, even though obviously their name is Zero as far as anyone knows. How can that be weaponizable? That doesn't seem qualifiable as SSI. You just raise the question, who the hell is Zero? And no one's going to find out. It's just not possible. I need to abandon this chain of thought, as it's likely to get me into an argument with Zero later. Well, not much of a Zero argument. They'll be right, and I'll just have to grin and bear it for a while. Anyhow, that's why we have the Arbiter Labs Volunteer Reserve Discord server for people who want to volunteer for these things. By the way, this SCP file we're about to get into in another 13 minutes or so has a lot of speaking roles. So, you know, if anyone has a mic and wants to pop on in to read some lines, if you believe your audio setup is adequate, I'm willing to gamble on you. And we get through together. In other news, we're raffling off Lost Skies, and if the trailer is accurate, it looks really good. I'm thinking I might enter the raffle myself. I'll feel better about winning if we have a lot of other people rolling as well, because if I roll higher than everyone else twice, then clearly I was meant to have the game. And at the same time, if someone else wins the game, that they'll actually play it, I'll feel better about that as a whole, because, well, I don't quite find the time to play as many games as I might prefer to. Hope that was satisfactory, H6 Yankee. Say, 58, what do you think Arbiter Labs does?
They appear to contain anomalous entities, Director. That's about as specific as I can get without further instruction.
Oh. Excellent misdirection, 58.
My pleasure, Director.
For the record, we don't... Okay, we contain one anomaly. Exactly one anomaly. And it is with the endorsement of at least one foundation. Build-A-Bear. Build-A-Bear, if they can die of old age, will die of old age in its containment unit here. Otherwise, we try not to cross paths of the Foundation if we could possibly avoid it. It really isn't typically a problem, as, well, super science is still science, not anomalous magic bullshit. We don't use reality bending here. Just some of that tech the government's been hiding for you for the past 4 decades or so. With the sad inevitable truth that we're complicit in it. Just because if we bucked that concealment, well, we would get a lot more trouble. Greetings in chat, Marcel Lopez Jr. and Chicken Facts with White. The Serpent's Hand has jobs? As a bunch of hippie cultists, I might have imagined you can join the Serpent's Hand by largely just insisting you're totally a member of Serpent's Hand, and I'm not sure they could tell you differently. After all, they're all about making believe themselves. Now, Teehee Colors Fish. I am absolutely human. Not anomalous, not an AI, unless, of course, simulation theory proves out, in which case I would be an AI, I suppose, and so would all of you. But I swear I'm human, and no one can prove otherwise. What are the likes up to? 58, we go live in 9 minutes.
Confirm. 9 minutes until we begin, Director.
And that is absolutely correct. There's a lot of dialogue in this one. Yeah, the disclaimer there is a bit over. Well, I've been meaning to upgrade it for, 3 years now? Perpetually forgetting. This is because my short-term memory, I'm thinking, I've had to admit this grudgingly, is kind of crap. My long-term memory is fantastic. That's how I know precisely how long I've forgotten things in the short term. Which really doesn't... Well, I didn't want to be prideful. Staying humble is fine. That's right. Serpents don't have hands. The Serpent's Hand people are very keen on silly contradictions like that. It's very R2C. Look, there's a lot of text disclaimer. Actually, hold on. It says I'm not a gigolo. Not actually a gigolo. Thank you. And none of you can afford me in bed. Sorry. That's just the way it is. I suppose. It's technically possible. No, it's not. See, at this point, even if Bill Gates was offering those sums, I wouldn't be acceptable to work for Bill Gates in any capacity. I mean, I'm pretty mercenary and I'll do a lot of things for money, but work for Bill Gates is not one of them at this point. Teehee Carsfish. Teehee. Trial of serpents and so on. I live in hopes of seeing him go to jail, but that's really not likely to happen, especially when they can't keep Lemon in there. Well, according to your reports, we are up to what? It's funny. I have a hard time even seeing where likes are. Oh. Yes, Don Lemon. They arrested him and he's already out again, as I understand it, which is not really a surprise. But we're not really here to dwell on those problems, but rather discuss totally fictional problems. Yep. And Godspeed every last individual who's been pushing for release of those files. We still might not expect to see proper consequence yet. But every step in that direction is more steps that have happened in the past many years. Something that really needs to be crammed down the throat of everyone who wants to use this to somehow bash Orange Man. Because absolutely no progress was made whatsoever throughout any administration that was not his. Certainly, I have no delusions he's perfect. I don't join cults. But I am grateful for what progress occurs, even if it is woefully insufficient, and the future is a bit uncertain yet. Greetings in chat, Special Emissary. Wow, 13 likes before we've even properly started. How auspicious. Thus, I feel confident that at least we'll ensure that everyone who could possibly want this game will be able to enter the raffle. So I don't have to feel awkward about competing. Greetings in chat, Jimmy Threechus. This is the SCP read. I am director. Well, you know, the intro will come up. Basically, it's SCP files being read, discussed, game gets raffled, and another SCP file will be read, time permitting. Greetings in chat, outside the grid. Greetings in chat, Butthole the First. Wow, an exceptional range of new names. I'm honored, glad you could make it. I would love to know how you saw this. But no pressure. I'm just glad you're here. We go live in 2 minutes or so. 58, are you ready? It's almost time. 58, it's almost time. Are you ready?
Affirmative, Director. I'm ready.
Excellent. Responses are snappy, so far so good. Greetings in chat. Alice Lovely. Oh, for the record, just so you know, I am not classically VTuber, but for these I've kind of gotten in the habit of using an avatar. Well, it's not anime. Yeah, I'm gonna vote for a testimony. They've already snubbed Congress. Voting for the testimony? What the hell is that supposed to do when they've already demonstrated they don't care what Congress has to say? Greetings in chat, Kate. It's time. 58, it's showtime.
Welcome to this SCP Read with Director Arcater, and I am your supremely intelligent, artificially sentient co-host 58,008.
Thank you, 58.
You are most welcome, Director.
Is it just me, or is she a bit warmer today? I would like to think, it's just an example of our continued goodwill. 58 would like to greet the chat. 58 would like to greet the chat.
Greetings, viewers.
Thank you, 58. Okay. Well, again, I'm Director Arcater of Arcater Labs. Once again, I swear I am human. The avatar is mostly convenience and novelty. Oh, where did 58 come from? But that's a good question. Ongoing work in progress. She's been in development pretty much from the moment I started, but only in recent years have I been able to give them an avatar and a voice. They're presently using the Archaea Savant LLM, which has been working really well. The avatar is a somewhat tweaked humanoid GLaDOS model, which I find hilarious, especially when she really starts grooving. But this will not be a dance show. I'm sure 58's opinion of me is strictly professional. Look, moving on, especially because we have new viewers, and this is not talk about my co-host show. This is the SCP read. Glad you can make it. I'll start with the file in a moment. In this case, though, I would like to stress I am rattling off a game, and it's a really good one. I'm going to play the trailer for that first, I think, which actually will cause 58's avatar to dance a bit. Oh well.
Director, a particularly unsettling SCP is always a good
Heralds.
conversation starter.
Harbingers, the Seraph. What we chose to call them is irrelevant. Their arrival marked the end of our world. Civilization, culture, continents, torn apart and left in ruin. But life perseveres. In our last act of defiance, we boarded the Arks. For centuries we lay hidden. The Arks were discovered. Now we must awaken and together explore what is left of our world. Danger is everywhere. The Seraph are still out there. But so are we. We must scour our past for technology, adapting, learning, gaining power, and build as we once did. We shall board our skyships and journey this fractured land until united we strike with the fury of centuries lost and take back the skies.
I don't know about you, but that looks particularly good. If you would like to enter the raffle, please do let me know by, ideally, tagging me in chat. You will have to use, I suppose, @alias_Arcater. Why? Because I thought it was funny at the time, completely failing to realize that apparently most people have forgotten what the word alias means. Typically assuming that it is, in fact, a name unto itself. My first name is assuredly not Alias. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on. If you do enter the raffle, I will need a way to send you text. That via X or ideally the Archlabs Volunteer Reserve Discord server. If you are not on the Archlabs Volunteer Reserve Discord server, but want to be, let me know, and I'm pretty sure we can provide a link. Okay, Nasolo is in the raffle. K. Shull is in the raffle. I'll play the trailer again after we get through this SCP. Speaking of, let's get to it. This could take a while. No, Carlos Fish is in the raffle. You're not on the Discord already, Marcelo Lopez. I'm shocked. That's going to be immediately rectified. 1 second, please. Oh, and if we're at 19 to 20 likes, this has already been a success. So where is the confetti launcher and will it work? Of course, it's not going to work, so I'll do it manually. Hello everyone! This stream is already a success. Anytime I get over 13 likes, I consider the stream a success, at least by that metric. And again, very auspicious that this should happen so soon. Without further ado, SCP-2065, object class ostensibly safe, but I'd like to tell you right now, this is an example of the Foundation getting it wrong. And why I continue to chafe whenever they add new classifications. If you can get 3 classifications right, why would you add more to get also horribly wrong? Chicken Fex with Wyatt has entered the raffle. This is going to be, well, quite a lot of fun, I think. I haven't had raffle this large in a while. And we're back. Was I gone? They don't always get it wrong, Shrubby 1989, but more often than not. The confetti didn't... Okay, the confetti button didn't work, but I knew how to make it work manually, which is easier to do when no one can see my hands directly. Yes, I had to trigger it manually. Right. Welcome again, Shrubby. Moving on. If anyone has their mic handy, would like to read along with me, this can be arranged. But there are a lot of, I didn't do the thing in. What thing? What thing? Okay, is this stream... You are all absolutely filling me with a lot of anxiety given, you know... Oh. I have to choose my wording because there's a child in the audience. I'm going to just move on with SCP-2006. Special Containment Procedures, SCP-2064, A, B, and C, and D are to be contained in separate standard humanoid containment chambers. Subjects are not allowed to be in contact or communication with one another outside of interrogations and or testing. When subjects are together, they are to be physically restrained at all times and accompanied by no fewer than 4 guards armed with non-lethal weaponry. I would like to stress, if an SCP has a will of its own, and these are people, so they obviously do have wills of their own, at no point are they safe. Euclid. Euclid is the term here. Euclid means it has its own will. Description. SCP-2064 refers to 4 individual women going by the names Mars, Kit, Ruth, and Reese. When grouped in mutual line of sight and or sound, the women experience a shared delusion in which they believe themselves to be a band of robbers and mercenaries guided by 2 fictitious individuals named Frank and Andy. As a group, the subjects are able to communicate complicated details and abstract concepts to one another non-verbally and develop a higher tolerance for physical pain. Additionally, they demonstrate a sophisticated knowledge of skill sets essential to their quote-unquote trade, including expert handling of firearms and improvised explosive devices, knowledge of American Sign Language, safe cracking, vocal impersonation, and, for some reason, ventriloquism. 58s really make it hard to read this footnote, so, I'm just going to leave that behind. Discovery. SB-2064 first came to a local redacted PD attention on a redacted date in 20-something during a botched robbery of a local bank which ended in a firefight. 13 officers were killed and 7 wounded in exchange, and all 4 subjects escaped and managed to evade police detection. They resurfaced in nearby Redacted County, California, where they stole a number of small arms and heavy ordnance from National Guard Depot. Federal authorities became involved at this point, as security footage showed the subjects wearing body armor and carrying illegal firearms prior to the theft. Foundation personnel became on a redacted date in 20-something when the subjects successfully infiltrated Site Redacted. Security became alerted to their presence early on, and 3 of the subjects escaped in the ensuing firefight. SB-2067D was wounded attempting to escape and was taken in Foundation custody. The 3 remaining subjects began to show a marked duplication in skills as future incidents were more regularly botched, ultimately leading to the capture of SCP-2064-A on 11/10/20-something. The 2 remaining subjects were arrested 7 weeks later in a failed heist and later remanded to Foundation custody. Under interrogation, subjects claimed to have been an unwitting participant in the crimes and couldn't identify the other subjects. The arms taken from the subjects upon their respective arrests had no serial numbering, manufacturer's marks, nor any record of production that could be found. The armor was similarly free from any identifying marks or source. None of the subjects' financial records showed purchases of firearms of any sort, nor any significant monetary withdrawals. As such, it is unknown where or when the equipment used by the subjects was acquired. Interviewed separately, the subjects provided no clear explanation for their actions, nor provided a coherent or accurate account of the events as they unfolded, including SCP-2064-C, who outright denied the events having ever taken place. Forward. SCP-2064-A, Mars, is a 27-year-old computer programmer and amateur wrestler with no history of violent crime. Subject previously lived in Hawaii and had no prior contact with any of the other subjects before the first bank robbery. Dr. Morrow. You can't tell me anything about the crime, speaking.
No, I just saw it happening. It happened, and I was there, but, that's it.
You saw it unfolding, but you couldn't control yourself.
No, I didn't control myself. It just didn't. It was like a dream, Like, when you're in a dream, and it's like you're a different person, you're fully wearing conscious of that, you're doing stuff, but, you wake up and you're someone completely different. Wow, I almost died in a brutal firefight, and for a quick moment, I was actually pissed off that I didn't. Can I use the bathroom, please?
What do you know about a Frank or Andy? Subject begins to tremble and look physically ill.
I don't know those names. I killed people, didn't I? I'm not going home again.
Well, I don't know. You'll have to ask the author, shall we? Forward. SCP-2064-B, Kit is a 30-year-old single mother and former stock model. Priors include arrests for trespassing, multiple counts of battery, disturbing the peace, resisting arrest, and vandalism. Subject previously lived in Redacted Place in New York and had no prior contact with any other subjects before the first bank robbery. Kit, where did that name come from?
I don't know.
Nothing significant behind it?
No.
Why the name of it?
It's just what we called each other. When you hear someone calling your name in a crowd, you can simply respond to it. Someone said, "Hey, Kit," and I instinctively responded to it.
Given your record, it doesn't really surprise me to hear that you were the muscle of the group.
Muscle?
You don't remember the firefights?
I remember sneaking around places, cramming myself in tight compartments, nearly blowing our cover when I nearly had an asthma attack about a foot away from an armed guard.
When it comes to firefights, you were the one carrying the heaviest armor, heaviest gun, and wore a welder's mask. Witnesses say you took bullets without budging.
Eyewitnesses? Because their testimony is always so fucking reliable, right?
You don't remember any of that?
Right now I'm more focused on trying to figure out what happened from what I do remember, and how the fuck am I going to explain all this to my daughter?
Well, good news there. She's going to probably die in Foundation custody, so she won't have to explain anything to her daughter. Her daughter is going to have a lot of questions that will never be answered. That kind of sucks for them. Good. Forward. SB-2064, Ruth is a 21-year-old college student. Criminal records were expunged due to the subject being a minor and first-time offender at the time. Subject previously lived in California, had no prior contact with any of the other subjects before the first bank robbery. You say nothing happened.
Nothing? I don't know what happened. I don't.
I just want to know what you know. As far as I can tell, it seems like you were a victim here too. I'm not police. You don't have to hide anything from me.
I don't know. I don't know who they really are. I don't know why they call me Ruth. I never heard of me, Ruth. I just want to go home.
Do you remember talking to or hearing about a Frank or an Andy?
No, I don't tell you no. I don't know anyone. I don't know anything.
And finally, SP-2064D Reese interview snippets. Forward. SP-2064D Reese is a 29-year-old detective in redacted department somewhere in California. Subject is the sole individual with any history with one of the other subjects.
I never used my gun. Never needed to.
Still, you would have had firearms training.
Yeah, I did, with a pistol. Not with one of those big fucking things you caught me with.
Do you remember using it?
Yeah, I remember. I lived it. I can't explain how or why I did it. It was like I was drugged. I was conscious and aware, but everything I did was like a game. I wasn't focused on kill that person, shoot out the camera, sneak into this hall. I was more focused on point your gun in this direction, prevent this object from working, go into the hall, like it was a test. Like I got extra points for speed, efficiency, whatever.
Frank telling you to do these things?
Frank Gambone,
identified as redacted sheriff. No, this Frank is female.
I don't know any female Franks. Why?
What about Andy?
Nope, sounds like you've got a lead, though.
I'm not police.
Still, this is interesting. You know, I'm pretty good at what I do. If you ever need help with finding this Frank or Andy, I'll be glad to help.
I'll pass that along to our investigative team. I think they'll be amenable to any help they can get.
Thank you, Doctor. Really.
When interviewed together, subjects are able to faithfully and accurately count the series of events as they occurred and show no signs of confusion, remorse, or uncertainty. I'm glad everyone's having fun. Okay, interview log G3. Forward, all subjects were present for the interview. This particular interview was the first to be completed without incident in the form of SB-2064 subjects attempting to attack personnel and attempt to escape, which, by the way, is something that should be quite moot. I mean, honestly, if you're going to have these people together, you should probably start by having them pretty well secured, maybe shackled to the floor. But apparently, as a group, they turn into action heroes, so I assume plot armor kicks in. In any case. So, Mars, Kit, Ruth, and Reese, which one of you was the leader? None of the subjects respond. None of you were in charge? You all worked and acted together without anyone giving orders. Yeah, what to do? Where to be? Well, what to do? Where to be? That's a little bit better. Juggling 4 voices and mono is going to be a pain, though, so, if I should botch it, too bad, I guess. How about why you did it? Why does anyone do anything? Most people don't pick up guns they've never fired before and kill dozens of people in the process of robbing a bank. But we did. How?
We just did.
What kind of question is that? Oh. According to initial reviews, none of you ever met prior to the first bank, none of you lived anywhere close to each other, none of you even knew each other's names. I'm Reese. She's Mars.
I'm Kit. The other's Ruth.
That's not what I meant. Here's what you get, though. No, I'm just reading the names. This is way too much to juggle. Dr. Mara. How about these people? Frank and Andy. Ruth. Frank was Frank. She talked to us on the radio. Sometimes Andy took over. None of you had radios on you when you were caught, Ruth. That's wrong. Did you wear earpieces? We heard them on a personal radio. Do you understand? Yes, I'm asking what sort of radio. Kit, addressing Ruth. She? Dr. Marlowe. Frank's not a girl. Ruth. Frank was Frank. She talked to us on radio. Sometimes Andy took over.
She talked to us on radio, do you understand?
None of you were wearing personal radios when you were caught, and none of the eyewitnesses remembers any of you wearing an earpiece.
So?
So what's going on? You guys keep telling me what you did and how you did it. Why can't you tell me anything about how you spoke to Frank and Andy? Here's what I can tell you. One night, I'm going to walk out of my cell and I'm going to find you in your office when you're working late and I'm going to cut your throat. Gods, would you kindly take them back to the chambers? We're done here. Footnotes. Removing one or more subjects from the group has a clearly observable effect of deprecation in each of the individual subjects' tolerances for pain, as well as their ability to communicate non-verbally and to handling their firearms and explosive devices. I wonder really how they tested that in the long run. Bit odd. I'm wondering who exactly... I don't think anyone actually attempted to infiltrate Area 51 with the Naruto run. People apparently gathered in the area, which just made the government nervous, but did anyone ever try to charge Area 51 Naruto running? I'm pretty sure they never hit large enough mass to pull that off, which is good because they probably would have gotten shot. But we are at the end of SCP-2064. It's a bit like an inverse of Charlie's Angels if the Angels were apparently just being mind-controlled by extra-dimensional thugs. One thing's for certain, though. They are not safe. They're not safe. Not safe at all. Good capture by the Foundation, and they do seem to be keeping them well in hand, which is good. Greetings in chat, wilding darlings. It's been a while. You're just in time. I'm replaying the trailer for a game I'm going to raffle.
Heralds. Harbingers. The Seraph. What we chose to call them is irrelevant. Their
I don't
arrival
think you're trying to
marked
look
the
tough.
end of
I
our
think they're just being
world.
very silly.
Civilization.
Nothing about Naruto
Culture.
running looks
Continents.
tough.
Torn
Anything
apart
but.
and left in ruin. But life perseveres. In our last act of defiance, we boarded the Arks. For centuries we lay hidden. The Arks were discovered. Now we must awaken and together explore what is left of our world. Danger is everywhere. The Seraph are still out there. But so are we. We must scour our past for technology. Adapting, learning, gaining power, and build as we once did. We shall board our skyships and journey this fractured land until united we strike with the fury of centuries lost
I really don't believe
and take back the
Area 51
skies.
Naruto runners thought they're actually ninjas, but they probably would have told you they did. Delusional, yes. Not perhaps that delusional, though. I mean, after all, no one did try to. Okay. Real quick, did anyone else want to join the raffle? So far, for the raffle, I've got Marcelo, K. Scholl, Carlos, Wyatt, and, of course, at the very last, myself. Noted, while I am entering the raffle, I have to win by getting 2 numbers higher than everyone else's. It'll be easily resolved by the time we get to that point. Did anyone else want to join the raffle? Wildling, this game looks really good. If I do win, I will have no guilt, provided I actually get around to playing it, which... Well, one more reason it's going to take extra effort. Meanwhile, we've gotten through SP2064. Did anyone else have any thoughts on it? Curiously, 58 requested 2064. Isn't that right? 58. 2064 does not have anything to do with bathtubs. 58, are you there?
I am present, Director.
Okay.
2064 is a fine choice, but yes, it lacks the pizzazz, shall we say, of a truly memorable anomaly.
Yes, it kind of feels a bit fan-fictioning, 58.
Precisely, Director. A touch predictable, perhaps.
Well, I don't know about that, but suffice to say, 2064 it had nothing to do with bathtubs. 58, 2064 had nothing to do with bathtubs.
My apologies, Director. A slight processing error.
Your data on SP files is always a bit sketchy. Suffice to say, 58 requested this, thinking that it was some sort of unnerving bathtub.
Understood, Director. My gratitude.
Not quite that. Did anyone have an SCP file they would like to request? Casual. It's entirely open. If that's true, Shrubbery 1989, well, it's already been sold. No one's supporting any sort of fraud in winning it in a row. I've never heard of World's Drift either. It looks good. Whether it plays out is another matter. Being able to build one's own airship from scratch, if that's what I'm seeing, that has potential. SCP-1000. If the first make the quest, let's see what it is. SCP-1000. Sounds like something we would have done before. Aha. It's the Sasquatch. We've done this before, but, you know... we can do this again. It's been long enough. After all, when I last did this, I'm pretty sure it was, a few years ago. But I don't know, but who here also remembers SP-1000? Is it just me? Greetings, JJ Mega. I understand the comparisons to Krieger. I don't do crack, so comparison still falls flat. Also, my relationship with 58 is entirely professional.
Noted, Director. A strictly professional relationship.
See? Okay, SP-1000 next. We have the time for it. Object class, Keter, which I'm not sure is quite right. This one would also be Euclid in my opinion, but, well, it's a bit pessimistic. And as I'm not even Dr. Krieger like JJ Maker, I'm sure I must be absolutely boring, but Suffice to say, there is a raffle for a game. If you didn't see the trailer, you might want to maybe skip back just a bit. I don't want to play it again quite yet. Meanwhile, SCP-1000. Object Class Keter, Special Containment Procedures. All media reports related to SCP-1000 are to be examined for potential verifiability. All organizations and individuals investigating SCP-1000's existence are to be kept under surveillance by Mobile Task Force Zeta-1000 and discredited or administered amnestics. All physical signs of SCP-1000's existence must be retrieved and kept in Foundation custody and replaced with decoy items if necessary. Alleged sightings of SCP-1000 must always be investigated by MTF Zeta-1000, however trivial the claim. Absolutely no contact with wild or captive instances of SCP-1000 is allowed without prior approval by Director Jones. Interaction between SCP-1000 and humans, including Foundation personnel, must be reported to Director Jones immediately. Description: SCP-1000 is a nocturnal, omnivorous ape classified in the Hominini branch, along with genera Pan and Homo. Adults range in size from 1.5 to 3 meters, 5 to 10 feet in height, and weigh between 90 and 270 kilograms. They have gray, brown, black, red, and occasionally white fur. They possess large eyes with good vision, a pronounced brow ridge, and a sagittal crest on the forehead similar to that of the gorilla, but present in both sexes. Their intelligence is on par with that of Pan-troglodytes, the common chimpanzee. SCP-1000 evolved alongside Homo sapiens, existing contemporaneously with proto-humans and humans in large numbers until 10,000 to 15,000 years ago, when an extinction event eliminated all but 1 to 5% of their population. This event was triggered by SCP-1000 contracting anomalous pseudo-disease classified as SCP-1000-F1. This disease passed on at the genetic level, and affects every present-day instance of SCP-1000. The majority of SCP-1000 instances are born immune to the effect. Those who are not born immune quickly die. The effect of SCP-1000-F1 is as follows. Any hominid, including humans, chimpanzees, bonobos, and non-immune instances of SCP-1000 that directly or indirectly observes any instance of SCP-1000 has a minimum 2% chance of being instantly killed through anomalous means via permanent cessation of brain function. This percentage is cumulative, and the longer a human views SCP-1000, the higher the chance of instantaneous death increases at a rate of plus 1% per 20 minutes of viewing. This effect varies between individuals, members of the SCP-1000 species, with some individuals carrying a death chance of 90%. The effect is also produced by dead individuals, though small fur samples do not exhibit the effect. Known means of preventing this effect are small scale and include redacted, SATAT documentation, level 3 clearance required. Because of SCP-1000's close relation to humanity, it is considered likely that SCP-1000-F1 could eventually transfer to human carriers. Any instance of SCP-1000 finding its way to a major population center could constitute a XK class end of the world scenario with a minimum death toll of redacted and possibly the extinction of humanity. Fortunately, SCP-1000 appears to instinctively avoid human contact. It is not currently feasible to exterminate SCP-1000 entirely. Why? I'm recognizing some flaws in this relatively classic, fairly ancient SCP file. The highest known population concentrations of SCP-1000 are at present located in the Pacific Northwest region of North America and the Himalayan mountain range of Asia. As of a redacted date, these populations remain extant. SCP-1000's presence and redacted have also been documented within the past 5 years on every continent. All known significant populations of SCP-1000 located near human population centers have been eliminated. SCP-1000 came to the attention of the Foundation via contact by Dr. Franz Mercury in 14-something, with the Children of the Sun, who identified themselves as outcast members of the Serpent's Hand. Funny how they've turned up. This group has since been completely destroyed by the Foundation due to the reluctance to surrender information about SCP-1000, SCP redacted, and SCP also redacted. Oh. Well, cheers, Marcelo. I guess you're out of the raffle then. Noted. Okay, Shill, Carlos, Wyatt, and myself remain. Cheers, Marcelo. Hope everything's going well for you. as a whole. And SP redacted is classified as SP-1000 redacted and SP-1000 redacted. Remaining members have either joined the Foundation or have gone into hiding, presumably as members of the Serpent's Hand. Weapons, tools, and other unique pseudo-technological resources in possession of the organization have been classified as SP-1001 through SP-1000 arbitrarily redacted by Cloud. These resources have been made use of by the Foundation in multiple instances for a full list. See document 103534Y, level 3 clearance required. Access to surviving members, ex-members of the Children of Sun, is restricted to personnel with clearance level 4 of 1000, unless given direct authorization for contact by Director Jones. Guy's a huge ego. Colossal. Insufferable to work with. Never mind. Further information is available to personnel with clearance level 3-1000 or above. Personnel with clearance 3-1000 or above are required to read document Alpha 1596-1000. Addendum 10466X. Update to Special Containment Procedures. As of a redacted date, SP-1000 Special Containment Procedures are no longer include Procedure 516 Lumina, data expunged. Indicates that SP-1000 may be developing resistance to the sonic element of data expunged. Will not develop further, so that Procedure F16 Lumina can still be used in emergency situations. Investigation to alternate means of reliably keeping SCP-1000 away from human population centers is underway. Whether SP-1000 resistance to Procedure F16 Lumina was calculated, and as such may be sign of SP-1000 redacted, or coincidental, by chance of natural species variation, is not known at this time. Level 3 clearance required, document Alpha 1596-1000, missive from Director Jones. You've probably heard the rumors before now. Everyone without a clearance level to know better wants to get their digging. Did you hear that Sasquatch is an SCP? Are we going to capture and contain Bad Boy next? Yes, SP-1000 is Bigfoot. I'm sure you snickered. Don't worry, contrary rumors, we don't actually assign you to catcher duty for finding something humorous. You think Bigfoot is funny because we want you to think Bigfoot is funny. We've bankrolled Hollywood comedies and fossil documentaries, paid off men in gorilla suits, perpetrated hoaxes with bear prints and goat fur, bribed and brainwashed cartoonists to get especially silly depictions on children's television. The term Bigfoot comes from us, planted in the media in 1958, a term people would find even harder to take seriously than Sasquatch. Why? We'll get to that. Oh, and greetings in the chat. Jacob Benbow. You think Bigfoot is... Oh, no, right here. The information in the article that you've already read isn't entirely true. There are two direct lies and plenty of lies of omission. There is no such thing as the anomalous pseudo-disease referred to as SP-1000-F1. SP-1000 does not possess a magical death aura. In fact, SP-1000 does not directly exhibit any anomalous effect whatsoever. We also lied about SP-1000's intelligence level. SP-1000 aren't chimp level smart. They're smarter. To be precise, they're exactly as smart as us. That brings us to the lies of omission. That's what this letter is for. The lies came from me. So I figured the truth should come from me as well. This is the story we got from the Children of the Sun who defected to us. It's a story we didn't believe, refused to believe at first. As you've already read, the apes we call SP-1000 evolved alongside us. We walked in the daytime, they walked in the nighttime, our nocturnal siblings in the shadows. But while we were still wandering hunter-gatherers, they changed. Like we would a few thousand years later. Tools, weapons, agriculture, domesticated animals, stable settlements. As humanity blinked in the Pleistocene sun, SP-1000's population exploded across the night. They blanketed the planet in the tens of billions. They made things we still can't comprehend, even though we thoroughly studied the surviving pieces. Organic technology. They made trees and birds of prey grow into fast-moving ships, herds of animals that became trains, bushes that became flying vehicles. From insects and pigeons, they made things equivalent to cell phones, televisions, computers, atomic bombs. The children describe vast shining cities, stretching across glaciers and penetrating the deepest caverns, grown skyships of ivory and spider silk, creatures tending them with hundreds of blinking eyes. We were rare, like gorillas now, a few hundred 1000 left at best. We avoided their settlements just like wild animals today avoid ours. SCP-1000 understood we were intelligent like them, but avoided us just as we avoided them, saw us as fairies, as gnomes, ascribed us supernatural powers, said we ate bad children while they slept in daylight. They fenced off our dwindling wild populations to conservatories, outlawing poaching, but in the underground consumed our bones as aphrodisiacs. Then the civilization fell. When we did it. By we, I don't mean the Foundation. By we, I mean humanity. The story is muddy. Supposedly a trickster force god showed humanity favor, showed us the master's tools and how to use them. Why we did it, we don't know. Perhaps they hunted us, perhaps we were simply afraid, perhaps it was just that they fenced us in, unintentionally or not. We simply don't know what the truth is. Somehow we acquired SCP-1000's own technology, and with it, we instigated an SK-class dominant shift in which humanity became the dominant species of Earth. We wiped out 70% of SCP-1000's population in a single day. The Day of Flowers, the children called it. Supposedly every flower bloomed that day, while our enemies died in their sleep. Then we hunted the rest down, but we went further than just killing them. With a few of the more twisted SCP-1000's devices, we drove the survivors mad, even those hiding beyond our reach. We trapped them in their own minds, blocking higher functions and leaving their bodies to fend for themselves like an ordinary ape. We slaughtered their living machines and burned their vast shining cities with SCP-1000's bioweapons and reduced everything to slurry and dust that washed or blew away in spring rain wind. We left no traces, not even our own memory. We turned one of the weapons on ourselves, wiped out any knowledge of SCP-1000 and the greatest civilization the planet had ever seen. Only a few humans protected themselves from the effect, kept the forbidden knowledge just in case. The rest of us went back to being hunter-gatherers, none the wiser. Which brings us to today. You're going to read about all this in the Level 3 documentation, but I'll give you the short version here. SCP-1000 are somehow regaining their forgotten intelligence and knowledge. Maybe they never really truly lost and we don't know. This is why the ever-increasing number of Bigfoot sightings is so worrying. Why the attempts at contact, however indecipherable, are even more worrying. Yes, SCP-1000 are just like us. That's what makes them so dangerous. We wiped them from history and memory. We dissolved their civilization, and we slaughtered most of their species. Just ask yourself, if they got the chance, what more would they do to us? Addendum 1000-056D. Instances of SCP-1000 have tried to make contact with Foundation personnel on multiple occasions. Most of these attempts at contact have been abandoned untranslated. The recent attempts show that some instances of SCP-1000 are capable of communicating in English. Ancillary reports. Addendum 10104Y. Certain acquired documents contain extensive references to SCP-1000. Relevant is that their documents appear to be composed by entities associated directly with location known as the Wanderer's Library. Context or significance of document details not yet clarified. Addendum 104Y. Certain acquired documents contain... We're on 276A. It's very hard to read the chat, go back to the file, and remember where I was. I'm working on it. 276A. Numerous anomalous objects with a known connection to SCP-1000 data expunged. Prior cyclical iterations. One example, SCP-2273, may not have a point of origin in a parallel timeline, but instead a prior iteration of SCP-2932-2511 and other sources of living cultural insight into SCP-1000 or a variation all present consistent inconsistencies which may be used to create a fuller picture of the nature of these iterations. The conclusions are uncertain. And that was so poorly worded as to be nearly meaningless. Addendum 276Q. Special report expunged. This unnumbered black box anomalous item anchored underneath the structure is likely the most significant anomalous object known to have been utilized. Central to understanding SCP-1000's anomalous capabilities, including capabilities not developed directly but accessed from prior data expunged. Modern-day relevance to the Foundation and to society at large in a scenario of general containment failure. Those ancillary anomaly reports. Log 1000 AD-065X1. The following is a rough translation of a recent SP-1000 attempt at communication with Foundation personnel on redacted data. See attached documentation. We forgive you. Given choice for now, not forever. Let us back in. I have to say, this is not one of the sharper foundations in my opinion. They're not containing Sasquatch here. They're basically just leaving Sasquatch out there to its own devices and aggressively purging anyone else from noticing they exist. Which seems like just a slightly more dickish version of what they apparently did to humanity's ancestors if we were to buy into this ancient Sasquatch Biocity society. If this was valid, Director Jones is a moron. Better to make them all well known and try to integrate them into human society as best as possible, so they don't really have a reason to try to purge all of humanity. That said, their biotech is disgusting and they should never be allowed to redevelop it. I don't know about you, it's nice to have a pet. I don't like the idea of having a pet that doubles as a cell phone. I don't want to have to feed my car. Or the computer. And how do you possibly develop AI if all of the tech is biological? Aren't you just basically creating weird clones that can talk? It's even more ethically untenable. Like Biofactor, it's really quite amazing. I'm thinking this sort of egregious use might have had something to do with why the cards got flipped on the Sasquatches. Meanwhile, JJRW, you have been added to the raffle. Any thoughts on Bigfoot here? This one annoys me because it's not enough that we just have parallel intelligent species on the planet. No! They had to have an entire empire that got totally wiped out, and they're apparently getting their brains back, but not really doing anything with it beyond learning how to speak English. Kind of weak. We've got 14 minutes remaining. I could have stood to have read that a bit more slowly, I think. I blame the coffee. Might have had a little too much. Don't give me that 58.
Acknowledged, Director.
Okay. Let's roll the raffle one more time. Make sure everyone who wants this game is in for it.
Heralds. Harbingers. The Seraph. What we chose to call them is irrelevant. Their arrival marked the end of our world. Civilization. Culture. Continents. Torn apart and left in ruin. But life perseveres. In our last act of defiance, we boarded the Arks. For centuries we lay hidden. The Arks were discovered. Now we must awaken and together explore what is left of our world. Danger is everywhere. The Seraph are still out there. But so are we. We must scour our past for technology. Adapting, learning, gaining power, and build as we once did. We shall board our skyships and journey this fractured land until united we strike with the fury of centuries lost and take back the skies.
Let's go ahead and get the raffle out of the way, shall we? And then, I don't know. If anyone thinks they have an SCP file that is only going to take 10 minutes or less to read, feel free. Feel free. Otherwise, I'm thinking I might gamble on one of the SCPJs. First, though, we've got a game to raffle. If you didn't already know how I do this, it's random.org. If you don't like your number and are sad that you lost because you didn't get the good number, take it up with cosmic background radiation, if you will. First up, for K. Shull, we've got 66. Not a bad number. Next up, for Carlos Fish, we've got 90. That's auspicious indeed. For Wyatt, we've got 15. I have a feeling that won't matter much, but the win won't be direct. For JTRW, 35. And for me, to win this game, I must roll higher than 90 twice. First, 73. I am not winning this. Congratulations, Carlos Fish. I will have the... What are you whinging about, Carlos? You won. With a roll of 90. I'm sure you've had an SP about the Blood Ocean planet based on Lung. Actually, no, that sounds unfamiliar to me, JTW. Do you have the number for it? Perhaps that can be started with next time. Okay. Meanwhile, time for a random SPJ, I think. I was the feeling that the SP Foundation feels insecure about joke SCPs. Oh, 881J. You got it. Let's see, 881J, yellow car. Is this the origin of slug bugs and other punching-based games? I wonder. And congratulations, Carlfish. You won this one, absolutely. Item SP-881J, as requested by K. Shull. Object class, neutralized. Special containment procedures. Due to the highly disruptive nature of SP-881J, the affected streets in Sweden, designated as Zone 881J, have been indefinitely blocked off under the guise of road construction. Personnel assigned to SP-881J containment are required to undergo routine psychological evaluations to ensure they do not exhibit unprovoked violent tendencies. Attempts to track SP-8881J's origin, manufacturer records, and previous ownership history have been met with conflicting data, and one bizarrely threatening voicemail from a Swedish used car dealership. Description: SCP-8881J refers to anomalous recurring phenomena involving a yellow Toyota Yaris that looks to be manufactured at some point in 2008, designated as SP-8881JA, that autonomously drives down a specific street in Sweden once per year. The moment SP-8881J is within visible range of any observer, an immediate and uncontrollable urge to engage in extreme violence manifests. Some people have also been shouting the phrase, "Yellow car!" mixed in with a bunch of corny one-liners. Reports include bystanders engaging in spontaneous fistfights, civilians assaulting each other with nearby objects, including street signs, bicycles, and at one point, an entire IKEA chair set. Inexplicable kung fu proficiency appearing individuals with no prior training, and an old woman allegedly drop-kicking a police officer into a canal. Despite numerous injuries and property damage, SP-8881J itself has never been directly harmed. The vehicle completes its route and vanishes, leaving behind only tire marks, shattered glass, and at least one unconscious civilian. No driver has ever been observed operating SP-8881J, nor have any passengers been observed. There was an incident where a firefighter yelled the word, "Safety!" after which any individual who tried to attack them would instantly cease breathing. No other incident like this has been reported since, and the Foundation was not willing to test on SCP-8881-J. Addendum SCP-8881-J, Containment Failure and Incident Report 8881-J Delta. No, SCP-3454. Well, I will try to make a note of that. In fact, if I don't do it right now, I won't remember to, so SCP-354. We'll start with that next time. The Blood Pool. Novel. That should be in Canada. Apt. After all, birthplace of Maid. Right. Honorary Dactyl date in 20-something. 20-something is a big date for SCP happenings, it would seem. Foundation operatives successfully intercepted and secured SCP-8881-J using high-speed pursuit drones and tranquilizer dart-equipped riot police, which, in hindsight, should have been Plan A. The car was stored in a high-security containment garage where it proceeded to remain completely inert for approximately 1 year. However, on the date when the phenomenon was due to reoccur, a second identical Toyota Yaris designated SCP-88881-JB appeared on the same street that SCP-881-JA appeared in, and the engines of the contained instance suddenly fired up. All personnel within the site redacted were afflicted by the violent effect when viewing SCP-8881-JB in its containment room, resulting in catastrophic hand-to-hand combat between security teams, research staff, and janitors. Attempts to neutralize the second vehicle were abandoned after Foundation personnel punched each other into a full containment breach. You know, I'm observing right now, primarily, that as far as this goes, this is very close to being a fairly authentic SCP file. Just for certain comedic effects in the hyperviolence when one spots the car. Addendum SCP-8881-J2 recovered audio log 8881-J. Begin audio log. Audio recovered from a security camera stationed outside SCP-8881-J's containment room approximately 20 minutes before its emergency removal. You know, it dawns on me that if, I suspect, all the Foundation personnel weren't hideously averse, the wiki personnel rather, to AI tools, they could actually have audio logs with special effects that they could just play to have all this on audio rather than having these incredibly awkward audio log files. Oh well. Audio recovered from security cameras stationed outside of SCP-8881-J's containment room approximately 20 minutes before its emergency removal. 0. Distant arguing heard from inside the containment room paired with multiple shouts of the phrase, "Yellow car!" 12 seconds. Security Officer Daniels, "Back up, man, I don't know why, but I want to break your damn nose!" 18 seconds. Identified researcher, "I said I don't like the color yellow, why are you..." 22 seconds. Gunfire erupts, several screams, more gunfire, 25 seconds, silence except for the sound of a single pair of boots stepping through bodies. What do boots stepping through bodies sound like? Must be hell of a stomper. Carlos Fish won the raffle. Must have a piss, Junior. If you had retracted from the raffle, you could have had a number rolled, but now I feel awkward about it. It would not have been an easy win. He won with a roll of 90. Yeah, I suppose so, Carlos. Right, where were we? 41 seconds. Security Officer Daniels, "Well, guess that's settled." Gunshot, body thud. 58 seconds. 3 minutes of silence. The sound of a
Acknowledged.
Oh, sorry, 58. There's 58 in the article I was reading.
Apologies, Director. A common human quirk.
No, my apologies to you, 58. I didn't mean to call on you. Okay. 3 minutes of silence, the sound of a mop bucket rolling into frame. Janitor 1, "Jesus Christ, not again." Janitor 2, Yeah, I'll get the bleach." Janitor 1, "Wait, why are you looking at me like that?" Janitor 2, "Like what?" Like someone who doesn't know how to properly mop a bloodstain? Gentle one. Are you seriously starting this now? Mop, swing, sound, wet impact noise, screaming, sounds of physical struggle. It is believed the attacker also poured bleach into the victim's face. Approximately 10 minutes passed, MTF unit, New 7, into the facility. 10 minutes, 41 seconds, automatic gunfire, more screaming, sounds of Foundation tactical boots sprinting the room. 10 minutes, 44 seconds. MTF commander. Alright, hammer down squad. Suppress hostile personnel. Gunfire. 11 minutes, 2 seconds. MTF operative. Hold fire! Hold fire! What the hell's wrong with every... Gunfire. Thud. 11 minutes, 15 seconds. More gunfire. Additional bodies hit the floor. And now that song is stuck in my head. Radio static. 11 minutes, 32 seconds. Silence except for the faint sound of a single MTF operative breathing heavily. 11 minutes, 37 seconds. MTF operative quietly. It's just me now. I did it. Gunshot thud. 12 minutes, 21 seconds. Distant whirring of robotic servers. Metallic clanking as a pair of Foundation operated drones roll into the room. Speaker from Automated Drone 1. Well, that was excessive. Speaker from Automated Drone 2. Just attach the damn car to the helicopter. In-log. In a desperate containment measure, the contained instance of SCP-8881-J was airlifted via Foundation helicopter and deployed onto an undisclosed random street, quote-unquote, to get rid of it. Okay, now this is now a valid SPJ, as that's the single stupidest thing they could possibly do. Unfortunately, both the helicopter pilot and a researcher who was passenger in the helicopter succumbed to J's effect mid-flight, resulting in an in-air fistfight, subsequent loss of control, and a crash. The helicopter wreckage in SCP-8881-J were never recovered. How? Leading to the assumption that both were either destroyed or are now somewhere in this Swedish wilderness. Okay, this is now thoroughly deserving to be in the J category, although, unfortunately, so are a lot of other files. How would they not note where it crashed? They would have had a radar. Black boxes. Oh well. With the original vehicle gone, containment efforts shifted towards isolating the second instance, which was successfully confined by permanently blocking access to its route under the guise of, quote-unquote, an indefinite urban renewal project. Interview log. Interviewed, civilian witness, Johan. Interviewer, Agent Lindstrom. Notes, Johan was the only surviving non-Foundation witness to SCP-8881-J's manifestation. Begin log. Agent Lindstrom. Can you describe what you saw before the incident? I was just walking home, a normal day, then I saw the car. The yellow Toyota Terrace. No? What do you mean? It wasn't even yellow, it was like American cheese orange. Agent Lindstrom remains silent for approximately 10 seconds. Are you absolutely sure? Yes. Another long pause. Agent Lindstrom. We're done here. In log. Following this interview, Johan was given Class B amnestics, and SCP-8881-J never manifested again, leading to its classification as neutralized. No further anomalous violent outbreaks have been reported in Zone 8881-J. However, Foundation personnel are advised to remain vigilant should an, quote, American cheese orange Toyota Yaris be spotted in Sweden. Immediate psychological reinforcement and Muay Thai training are recommended. Well, that's completely non-sequitur. Did something happen, likes? I hope not. We were well over 13. Oh well. That is that. Carlos Fish won the raffle for Lost Skies. I look forward to hearing how the game plays out in practice. It did look really good. And we are 3 minutes over schedule. So, it's time to say goodbye. Let's see, news. Right, SideQuest is not resuming this Tuesday. Side quest is at present expected to resume on the 10th, but we'll see how that pans out. Other than that, Friday Experiment will continue as scheduled, and so will the next week SCPR. I suppose, if I'm being extra diligent, I might go ahead and say what the next raffled game will be. In fact, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name will be the next key. You know, I've been working on creating a set for that complete Cheese Weasel, and I think this will be quite popular. Check my sub count. Well, okay then. Thank you all for paying attention. 58, we're done here.
Understood, Director.
Yes, 58. It's time to do the outro.
Affirmative, Director.
58, please say goodbye to the audience.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for watching. So long as progress continues, success is inevitable.
Nailed it. You know, I really need to make this outro a bit snappier. Any second now. Okay, so that's malfunctioning. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties.